less than million square kilometers. Antarctica, remember, it's 14. And if you compare it to the country well known as US, it also is bigger than that. Another thing that you can get as distinct lava coming out. So there are some other active volcanoes, but they are not the ones that we can see above sea level, all right? So, well, in...
Shifting beside sea. Hello Antarctica, where are you? There? Water, all around water. Yeah. Very big waves. We have not seen such waves in Alaska. That's why they call this southern ocean as a rough sea.
Well, thank you very much, Young. I'm coming with a glass of water because I had a terrible cough in the last days, so it's difficult sometimes for me to speak a little bit. Then I would like to talk now about deck department. And at last, I would like to introduce somebody Well, thank you very much. And also, I would like to mention something because somebody told me that we are today is the Chinese New Year's Eve. Exactly. So I would like to say for you, Happy New Year. Okay, I'd like to make a toast, for these wonderful crews who are going to live in these days. So, cheers.
On the 19th. This is my last. Really, this is my last trip I've had a club.
Good ice cream, thank you.
Oh, look, and even chocolate sauce.
Beautiful sunset, huh?
Yeah, very nice sunset.
That's what this says to us.
Very light today.
Ah, yeah.
You have no plans to go up?
I'd been in the morning.
It's
very cold.
I was there at 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was there.
Ben voilà, tu vas en profiter de ta chambre. On va descendre par là.
Smell it in the air, so before long you're going to be surrounded by these little creatures that maybe all of you came down to see. Anyway, this is because it's about penguins and an introduction, and it's very difficult sometimes for us to figure out why they pick certain areas, but nevertheless they do so. And they just come streaming down from the rookery that in this picture would be behind me, running and plopping along to get into deeper water as quick as they can. So hopefully we'll see a bit of ice festooned with penguins. Ice is nice, as you know, but it mustn't actually prevent the leopard seals from making an attempt. This particular one got away, but they crashed right through the ice. But many of them do get taken, as you can see here. And it's a bit gruesome and so forth, but remember, we're not going to Disneyland. This is not a cartoon. It's not La La Land or anything of this sort. This is a real ecosystem and a real environment, and all these things are happening every day. And the system feeds on one another, on itself. In other words, you need all of these predator-prey relationships. The pieces on the surface of the water, much of the literature suggests that they get popped out of their skin like a banana. That's not the case at all. They just get smashed in lots of little pieces, and all the other birds and everything are coming around picking up as many parts as they possibly can. So we may see that it will just be up there, and ultimately the skuas and giant petrels and sheathbills or what have you will take advantage of it and will consume it. And all that blood that you see here and feathers and bones and so forth ultimately will leach its way back to the sea. Those are popping up all around the boat and so forth. So ultimately they left, and then Lucky jumped in the water and took off to wherever it was going, and the whales came back. So immediately going to get the good spots. So they're down in the areas where there's a lot of snow and so forth. They may even bring all their rocks over and to do everything just right. But this nest is going down, just like they all are. They're going to fail. So the next year, they're going to be a little bit more. You got to cook the eggs at about 98 degrees. Keep them nice and warm. And there's the brood patch. And the brood patch is an area devoid of feathers, incongruous perhaps to see nesting Antarctic penguins or polar penguins in the middle of a sauna, so to speak, and that's the case. That's what you see there. Well, they too have to go through all these wonderful gyrations, and it's not necessarily pleasant to see, but it's part of what's going on. And I suppose you could say that if every chick that hatched survived, we'd be up to our clavicles in penguins. Now, me personally, I don't think that's such a bad thing, but maybe others might. But at any rate, nature has a way of balancing everything, and this is part of it. And of course, as I say, them being as spicy is very contagious. Once a couple of them start calling off like this, then everybody wants to go, and you may find just all these heads bobbing and wonderful evoking indeed. Now, this is a very tolerant parent. Way past the time they should be brooded like this, but nevertheless, these chicks are going to take advantage of it. Whipper trying to pull him out of the crash. It was not successful in this case, but they're very, very persistent. They don't give up. And then there's lots of dead ones around anyway, die for whatever reasons, and nothing goes to waste because they're also scavengers, and they'll pick the bones, clean and everything, and all that nutrients. But like I said, will go back to the sea. Even the sheath bills. Remember we mentioned the sheath bills yesterday? They'll take advantage of any carcasses as well. And then the elephant seal problem, they have to deal with that too. And then, of course, the chicks are always demanding food and yawning and screaming and stretching themselves and flexing, whatever other flapping, as we said earlier, and feeding.
The sea is cool now, without much waves. But the weather is cloudy, rainy.
About using it. Comes back to the language.
It's my clothes when I get off the boat.
No drops. Right, go on. Sort that out.
Came from the Beagle channel, down. Okay, you just hold one end. Okay, first, this right here, that's the wingspan of a Wilson storm petrel. Everyone see that? This is the wingspan of a Pintado petrel. That's the painted petrel that Frank talked about. The staff know, and so you don't enter them. Okay? It's up to me to know the restrictions and to tell them to you, that sort of thing. Of course, the Antarctic's heritage, we do not damage anything associated with historic sites or monuments. There is no smoking ashore for obvious reasons. It's very dry down here, and places, ashes can blow onto wood, that sort of thing, and it's just a tinderbox. It'll go up like a dry Christmas tree.
They are not. These are very, very stable platforms. They're very comfortable, and they've been proven as the choice for getting ashore from a ship in Antarctica in over 35 years of work down here. So the first time you get in one, you might be a little nervous, but don't worry, you're going to relax by the second or third landing. You'll have it down. You need to have 2 free hands. Not carrying gloves in one hand, not carrying gloves in one hand and a hat in the other. Not carrying a camera under your arm. We need to have 2 free hands because we're going to help you get into the boat. The boat is lurching around. Once the boat is loaded, we're ready to take you to shore on the Zodiac cruise. Usually we'll have 10 people, 5 per side. Sometimes that changes. There's a little bit of rope that runs around the side. We go. At the end of the normal landing, when it's time to depart, you make your way back to the landing and find the life jacket bag. At this time, you're not going to get the life jacket you wore on the way in. They're all the same. They're all adjustable. Please don't worry about trying to...
The interruption, your lunch, you're still up in the dining room, but if I could have your attention for a moment. Thank you.
Wash them on the toilet, wash your face.
Yeah, it's pretty nice bathroom.
Yeah.
Scott knows off doing the same thing. He's coming up.
Put the window, I put the blinds up. I'm like, why are these blinds down?
Yeah.
No one's gonna see me. I don't know what they do, it's worth it. So head out there first.
living
That's your limit. Don't go up onto the snow,
penguins.
over this whole area, and over towards one. You can go up and over the other side. That's your plan. So there's sort of a saddle, a basin up there, and then this beach here. No
Welcoming us to Antarctica.
We have lots of elephants along the way over here.
The weather is cloudy. That's the nest.